There are tons of instructional videos out there on how to perform an Epley maneuver on yourself, but there are not that many out there that teach you how to perform one on a loved one. I got you. Today I'm going to show you how to perform an Epley maneuver with a loved one. My name is Amy. I'm a vestibular physical therapist, which means I treat dizziness, balance problems, and vertigo for a living. The Epley maneuver is a procedure that is used to treat a condition called BPPV. BPPV stands for benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, and it is a very common condition which causes symptoms of severe spinning vertigo. It's important to note that BPPV is not the only condition which can cause the symptom of vertigo. So if you do not have BPPV, you should not be doing an Epley maneuver. It's important to note that there's both a left and a right Epley maneuver, and you can test yourself for which ear it is by doing something called a Dix-Hallpike test. I have instructional videos on this in my free BPPV playlist, or you can go see a vestibular PT, ENT, or audiologist, and they can help you figure out which ear. Please watch this entire video before you attempt this on your loved ones so you both know what the plan is. Today I'm going to demonstrate a left Epley maneuver on my model here, my husband. He does not have vertigo, but he has agreed to be my model so that you guys can learn. Make sure that your patient does not have any kind of ponytails that will stop them from smoothly and easily moving their head on a pillow. Also, be sure that you have a nice large surface with plenty of room to roll and lay back. You're going to have your patient turn his head 45 degrees to the left to start a left Epley maneuver. And then together you're going to count to 3 and then lay back, supporting your patient's neck. You're simply going to support it and not stop them from laying back super quickly. On the count of 3, you're going to lay back with your head turned about 45 degrees to the left, about halfway to the left, and tip your head back over the top of the pillow. Ready? 1, 2, 3. As you can see, I supported his head all the way down until it was resting on the pillow, and we are getting those ears further back than the shoulders. You're going to keep your patient here for 2 solid minutes. If the patient has nystagmus in this position, meaning repeating eye movements, it indicates that he does have BPPV in the left ear and an Epley maneuver is indicated. Here's an example of what that nystagmus would look like. The vertigo is going to seem scary, but the patient should keep their head still and it will stop after around 30 seconds. After 2 minutes, the next position you're going to do is helping your patient turn their head all the way the other way. So at this point, my patient's head is turned left about halfway. I'm going to help him turn it all the way to the right, talking to him the entire time. We're going to turn your head all the way to the right, nice and slow, but we need to keep it tipped back. So make sure that you don't lift it away from the bed when I turn your head. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And that's why no ponytails is important. The patient may feel vertigo again for around 10 to 30 seconds, but it won't be near as intense in this position. You're going to hold still in this position for another 2 minutes. You may see more nystagmus here, but it won't be near as severe. For the next position, you're going to have your patient roll towards the side that his head is turned. So in this case, his head is turned right. I'm going to have him roll on his right side. And when we do that, I'm going to need his cooperation because he's going to turn his head down, nose down in the bed, and I am going to help him roll. Normally, I recommend that you get on the other side so that you're stopping your patient from rolling off the bed. But for this demonstration's purposes, I'm going to stay on this side so you can see the patient. In order to get a smooth roll, you're going to have your patient, without disturbing their head position, bend this knee up. That's the opposite knee to which I am rolling. And you're going to help them roll by pushing the knee and the shoulder. I always like to give my patient a little indication of how close they are to the edge of the bed by taking their hand and touching it so that they know how much room by which they have to roll. So on the count of 3, I'm going to help you roll your body onto your right shoulder. When I do, I need you to keep turning your head to the right until your nose is facing down in the bed. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. The smoother the roll, the better. And that's why you should probably leave room on that side of the bed. Hold here for another 2 minutes. If you were on this side, you could be comforting this patient that they're not falling off the bed because they are close to the edge and they are going to feel severe vertigo in this position. After 2 minutes is up, the vertigo will have stopped after 30 seconds or so. You're going to help your patient sit up, but it's very important for you to keep your patient's head rotated to the right. So you're going to put their feet off the edge of the bed, telling them to keep their nose facing down in the bed, which is going to help them sit up. Then you are going to help them by grabbing their shoulders to sit up. It's going to be a team effort because I'm going to have him keep his head rotated to the right until we're all the way sitting up. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. All the way into sitting. Now my patient here does not have vertigo, but if he did, he would be feeling it. So it's really important to keep your hands on that person and make sure that they don't go flying. Once they're upright, they can turn their head facing forward. Just make sure that they don't tip it up or down or bend over, and keep that head nice and level. So there you have it. That is how you would help a loved one to get through a left Epley maneuver to treat left BPPV, which is causing spinning vertigo symptoms at home. A few tips to remember before you get started. Make sure that your patient has plenty of room to roll, lay back, and move around before you start the maneuver. Make sure that your patient doesn't have a ponytail that keeps them from being able to smoothly roll their head. Make sure that you have a nice thick pillow or 2 pillows so that your head gets a deep enough extension to get their ears behind their shoulders when they lay back. Make sure that you are comforting and supportive to this person, and you may also want to make sure that you keep a bucket or a barf bag nearby in case the person needs to stop and vomit. If it gets too intense, don't be afraid to stop and give them a breather. After the maneuver, it is not necessary to stay sitting up all night, just for about an hour or so, being ginger with the head and keeping the top of the head facing the ceiling. It is actually a myth and disproven that a patient has to wear a neck brace or sleep sitting up after this maneuver. You can retest again within 1 hour if the patient can tolerate it, or in about 24 hours is recommended. And as a final reminder, if you feel like you cannot handle this at home on your own, go and see a vestibular professional. You can find one near you by going to vestibular.org, clicking Find a Clinician, and typing in your zip code.